Hello and welcome back to the second part of our RCT3 park tutorial. Last time we got the main entrance finished and we got our coaster finished. So right now what we're going to do is we need to... This looks pretty boring as is. It's coaster, but nothing else. It's meh. So let's spice it up a bit. Now, I said I explained why I left this part straight, and the reason I did that is because you can add a bit to the decorations by doing that. And by decorations I mean it's gonna be a feature of the coaster. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go back down to my terrain editing tools. I'm gonna drop that, just like I dropped the lake in there. I'm gonna drop that a bit. I'm gonna go down by 2. We're gonna do it all the way up the length of this straightaway. Now that we have that, what we're going to do is we're going to do snap terrain to neighboring edges. And what this is going to do is it's going to bring everything... Actually, you know what? Let's make that a bit wider just so we get a bit... Make it look a bit nicer. So we're going to go like this. On each side. Bring it down to the same level on each side. Like so. There we go. Now we're going to do this. And what this does is it's going to make everything match. So you got the angles matching. Ooh, you don't want to behave, do you? There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little lake. Inside this here. Sorry for that. I was just thinking. I'm going to build a little lake inside here. There we go. And this needs to be snapped. As you can see, it made it a lot more smoother. It looks natural. And we're going to do the same thing we did there. We're going to add a bit of... Ooh. Hello. Okay. That's going to be a bit of a problem, isn't it? Let's fix that. I think I'm going to have to drop this corner down. Like so. And then I'm going to have to use this to fix everything. Okay. Hopefully that works better. There we go. So that looks like a square piece of water. Oh, bit off the edge there. Deal with that later. So we've got, yeah, it's a bit squared, isn't it? But we're going to add to it. We're going to add a bit to it. We're going to use trees to get a nice foresty effect. And what you want to do is you kind of want to just diminish the look of that square just a bit. So I'm going to use a bunch of different trees. I'm going to fill this in and I'll show you what it looks like afterwards, just so it's not eating up as much time. So let's just do that. Okay, so what I did is I finished adding all the trees. I also added a fence around it for, that's off by a bit, for border control. And by that what I mean is that you know where the ride boundaries are, and you know where you can put trees and all that. And it also helps when you're filling it in. It kind of gives you like a giant box to color in, so you can go all the way up to the edges like I'm doing right now, and not do that. I decided to go with a pine tree feel. I like pines in this. I like the pine tree look. You can use, I used a mix of different other trees on the inside there. And as you can see, it kind of gets rid of that boxiness when you're looking at it from a distance. It gets rid of that boxiness of that little lake in there. And when you're on the ride, it looks a lot nicer than just a plain roller coaster. So once you finish that up, what you're going to do is you're going to make the lines and everything. Now I was going to show you how to make a station in this game, in this tutorial, but I think I'm going to save that off for my other Let's Play. Now there's different ways you can do a line, like what I'm doing right now, which I'm not going to keep. That's the basic one. But to make it more compact, what you can do is make it like a staircase. So go this way, and then you can go inwards, down. Actually, you know what? Let's go down right off the bat. And then we're going to level off, go inwards, down again, level off. We're just going to keep doing that all the way to the bottom until we hit the ground, because it's a little more compact and I can get the line exactly where I want it, like that. It looks like I missed a few on the inside there. Yeah. Alright, there we go. And we're going to do the same for this one. Actually, you know what? We're actually going to make it like this. For this one. There we go. And then, there you go, your first roller coasters. Now after you got that done, we're going to need other rides. Roller coasters are a good way to make some good money, but not everyone likes roller coasters. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a pathway out to somewhere over there, and we're going to start working on our thrill rides and other rides. Alright? Okay, so what I did is I made a box here, and this is where we're going to have all our thrill rides. Now, this is just to demonstrate one way to do it. Another way to do it is have your thrill rides scattered throughout the park instead of located. I wouldn't have all my thrill rides in here. I'd have a few in here mixed in with some concession stands, which I'm going to show you right now, and then have others scattered throughout the park. So we're going to use a mixture of junior and thrill rides in this little box area. And whatever ride you want is your preference. For this, I'm going to try and use the Enterprise. Let's have that here. We're going to use, let's use a smaller one. Let's see if I can't get the zipper. That's a bit smaller. Actually, oh, I saw it. I just saw it. Where'd it go? Here we go. Twister. That's another classic. We're going to have this one right here. Have the entrance right here. And what you kind of want to do is you don't want to have all the entrances meeting up with each other. You want people to walk around and see the rides and do that kind of stuff. The merry-go-round here. Now the merry-go-round is one of the rides where you don't necessarily need a line. Junior rides, you don't necessarily need a line. But I'll add one anyways. There we go. I just want to mark that out so I don't forget. And then another junior ride. The spiral slide seems to be a best. And we're going to do it this way. Now, I'm going to change the exit here. Right about here. There we go. We're going to make the lines. Now, I usually make these lines a bit smaller. Let's move the entrance on this one. Oops. Did I do something I didn't want to do? I think I did. I did. There we go. Sorry about that. We're gonna move this one over to here, just for now. This way we're gonna have a walking path everywhere in the middle there. So now that we have that done, we're gonna have, this is gonna go like this, and this is gonna go like this. There we go. We're gonna have a pathway going through the center here, just so we can get the exits and everything covered. And you can also add rides on the outside here as well. Well, I'm just gonna do it this way, just for right now, just for this tutorial. And there we go. So we have our little thrill ride section of the park. And the reason I left these squares is for decoration. So you can put trees or flowers in there just to kind of make it look not as blocky and chunky. What can we use? Sugar pines, and I'm not too sure what I'll use in there. Maybe I'll do that later. Right now, let's continue with this. So, what we're gonna do now that we have the rides, we have the roller coaster, we have the entrance, we need food. So, when you're building food, one thing to remember is that having your foods all located one place is a horrible idea, because you're going to get a lot of complaints that people can't find food, and people are just going to start leaving because apparently people are lazy. So we're going to go through food, drinks, souvenirs, and facilities right now. So for food, you're going to want to place food everywhere. So we're going to have a few food places inside this place right here. I'm going to place all my food places down, just so we cut back on time, and I'll show you what I've done. Okay, so this is what I've done. I have food everywhere, all throughout this location here. And we're going to do the same thing with drinks, all throughout this location here. I'm not going to put the drinks down because that's just a waste of time. It's pretty much the same principle. Drinks need to be everywhere. Now, for souvenirs, people will want souvenirs, and if you have soaked installed, people are gonna want sunscreen, sunglasses, sun cream. Oh my God, sun cream, sunglasses, and swimsuit stalls. Also, they may want an inflatable stall, but that's not filling. They definitely want sunscreen and sunglasses because they can get sunburns in this game and soaked. And other than that, really, these are just extras. So I'm gonna place a balloon stand here. Balloon stands, I like balloon stands. People love balloon stands in this game. That's usually one of my best souvenir stands. So we're gonna have a balloon stand right there. The last thing for facilities we're gonna talk about, actually for the shops and facilities, is gonna be the facilities themselves. ATMs, first aid, toilets, and information. And umbrellas will be covered in the information section. ATMs is pretty much what it sounds like. It's an ATM. But the thing is that people in this game, they have a set amount of cash, so you cannot not place ATMs. You need ATMs in your map somewhere. I like to place my ATMs either near these rides over here, the thrill rides, or near the main entrance. So I'm going to place one right here. Man, why am I having such a hard time speaking today? Dear God. I'm going to place one in the center here. Usually I'll have more, but this is just a basic tutorial, so we're just going to do that. First aid should be located near your most intense rides. So Enterprise is a spinning ride. We're going to have one located near it, actually right in front of it. And it should also be close to your roller coasters, because people are going to get sick coming off the roller coasters. And if you have a first aid right at the exit, the first thing they're going to do is come down these stairs, say, oh my God, I'm sick, go to the first aid, and you avoid people puking on the ground. Now, for the information center is very important because it sells maps and it sells umbrellas, and so you really don't need a umbrella stall. And for the information center, I call it information center, I just call it information booth. I like to place it dead center right here at the beginning, and as I said, they'd be inside these buildings if I had my custom entrance set up. So what's going to happen is people are going to come in the park and they're going to buy maps, which is very important because then they won't get us lost and they'll know where everything is. So once you have the information center down, you're going to need toilets, and toilets are also quite important because they're one of the main reasons people will leave is if they have to go to the bathroom. They get very mad and they'll leave. And bathrooms should be placed everywhere. It doesn't matter if it's in near your food, near your rides, they should be placed everywhere. You should have more bathrooms than you have first aid or ATMs because it's a big thing. People will have to use them. So once you get the facilities down, like I do, you're going to need to put some benches and lamps down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some benches and lamps down. To cut time, I'm going to stop and I'm going to show you what I've done and explain why I've done it. Okay, so what I've done is I've put benches all around the park, same with lights. Lights, if you have a 3-path design like I do, you need to have lights on both sides, and you don't want to put them right next to each other. If you have one light, then you want to go down maybe 1 or 2 blocks and place another one on the opposite side and do that pattern because you need the whole street to be lit up. Now for benches, they have to go everywhere. It doesn't matter where you put them, but they have to be throughout your park everywhere so people have a place to sit, because if they don't, they get sore, they get tired, and they leave. And with garbage bins, I don't have that many garbage bins, but where you want to put the garbage bins is near food and heavily populated areas. So this place is, I'm expecting to get a lot of people through this area, and that's where I'm going to put most of my garbage bins. So you also should put some by your roller coasters and less populated areas, but they shouldn't be as many as in populated areas. Now the last thing I'm going to touch upon, I know I'm running over time with this, I wanted to keep it 15 minutes, but this is also important, is staff. Now, maintenance is important in the park, so you're going to have to hire mechanics, and you're going to have to hire janitors to keep the park clean. But when it comes to park maintenance, all rides should be at every 10 minutes maintenance inspection. Because if it's more, I find that they break down a lot more. The higher up the inspection, the more likely they're going to break down. So if it's set to the max, which is every 2 hours, or even never, it's going to break down a lot. So keeping it inspected every 10 minutes will keep everything in line. Now, for a park this size, I have about 5 rides, which means I should have about 10 mechanics, just to be sure. You can probably get away with 1 mechanic per ride, but just in case you want them wandering the park, you should probably have double what you should have. So everything should be 10, and the bigger your park goes, you should up it by 1. I'd say every 4 rides, or if I was to expand it past this area, the larger your park is, the more, and it's pretty self-explanatory. The larger your park is, the more you need mechanics and janitor-wise. Security, I'm not too sure. I've never had stuff vandalized, but I usually like to keep a team of 10 or 15 security guards on hand. And once again, as my park expands, I'll make them more numerous. And entertainers are good to keep people happy. I don't usually use them. And that's pretty much it right now. This is the basics here. We went through entrances and all that stuff. So I'm going to do a let's play, or let's fail as they're called, later on in the week, or later on, maybe next week or the week after of this game. I'll use one of my custom scenarios, but until then, I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial / demonstration, and let me know in the comments if I missed something or if you want to know something else. But until next time, enjoy the rest of YouTube. My name is Knight, and thank you for watching.